For instance, as I said earlier, most of the countries in Africa were seen as autocratic regimes. The Polity-4, which is it measures the country regime trend over time. Today, the ranking is between -10 and +10. In 1990, Africa was ranked as -6. Today, Africa is ranked as +2. Today, only 2 countries in Africa are rated as autocratic regimes, as autocracies, and that is Swaziland and Eritrea. Whereas in South Asia alone, 3 countries are rated as autocratic regimes. China, you'll be surprised to hear that it's China. You have Vietnam and North Korea. So if comparatively, we made progress. So, but we need to go out. Africans need to have the confidence.
It's basically perception.
Yes, it's perception. So we need to go out and tell these people the true story. You need to retell this. You need to tell and retell the story. Last year we were in India. I took a team of my leaders to go to India to talk to some entrepreneurs about the opportunities of doing business in Africa and in Nigeria. And these are the stories they were talking about. They were asking about insecurity. They were asking about corruption. Yes, everywhere you go, it's about the negative, the challenges. That's what you hear. But we have to educate them. It's not what you hear. You come to Africa, and these are the opportunities. Of course, there are challenges, but companies of your size who are doing business in Africa, doing business in Nigeria, they are making it. They are profitable.
Don't they hear about stories about those companies?
That's what I'm saying. But you need to tell them. So the solution to that is that we as Africans need to have confidence in Africa. We need to believe in Africa, and which is a good thing, because from our survey, we've seen a massive growth in investment of Africans across Africa. So we need to tell our story. So it's a case of the hunter and the lion. So
interesting. Now, for those countries, like for instance, still looking at your report, 17 African countries were ahead of India on the World Bank's Doing Business Index. 35 African countries were ahead of Russia on the Transparency International Corruption Perception Index. Now, for those countries that at the bottom of the list but are still doing well, how do you think they've been able to get ahead and still attract that for much needed foreign direct investment?
Yes, I think this is a competitive environment. Foreign direct investment we are competing in a global market, for investment. Africa needs to package itself. Those guys have been able to package their stories better. They've been able to reach out, to see the positive, side of their countries. That is what we, as Africans, both leaders and the private sector, both government and private sector, we need to tell our story.
Do you think that should be done by? Sorry to bother. We have a Ministry of Ministry of Foreign Investment here, not Foreign Trade and Investment.
Yes.
I beg your pardon. Yeah. You think most of that burden should be on that particular ministry? Would you know that they've gone on some road shows, and they've gone as far as Australia to attract investors, but we've not really seen I'm sure obviously they've been doing something, but in terms of impact, we're not sure about how much of that we've been feeling. But do you think they need to be doing more?
As I said, it's not just government. I mean, Ministry of Trade and Investment is part of government. That is government. I think as private sectors, we need to do more. I know the Minister of Trade and Investment is doing, in fact, 2 days ago they wrote a letter to me. Actually, I think they wrote to some stakeholders trying to explain, I left it in the car.
Okay, it's okay.
Trying to explain what they've done. So like a roadshow, trying to educate us on what they've done, the steps they've taken so far. They've read all the rankings, or the ease of doing business ranking, even the Transparency International ranking. Yeah. And I think government is concerned about it. I think there are efforts to at least step up in those areas, and for now, I think they've been engaging with the World Bank. They've been engaging with most of these authorities. They've engaged with the World Economic Forum to see how they can improve all these areas. Most of the areas ease of doing business, the turnaround time to register a company, for instance, or the bureaucracy, around that. Your ports, how long does it take to clear your goods at the port? I think the government has now established a Nigerian National Competitive Council.
Do you think it should go beyond that? Because I'm saying
at least there's responsibility.
It's all being done by the government.
There's responsibility now. There's an organ to take responsibility and drive. You need somebody to be the arrowhead.
Henry,
you need a committee to take the arrowhead. Yes, I understand. We hope it won't just be on paper. But I think the Permanent Secretary has taken pain to write to some stakeholders to explain, like a roadshow, which means they are concerned.
So I believe trying to conscript or get professionals to do it, because I had a guest here too about 2 weeks ago, and he said that he's been on many of these road shows, by the Ministry of Trade and Investment, and that he was quite disappointed at the turnout of the kind of people that came. He said the government should, the ministry should, get professionals who know how to, package these things, professionals who will go, who know where these investors are, whatever part of the world or globe they are. Bring them together, tell them our own story. Yes, we have our challenges, but there's no doubt that there's huge potential here in Nigeria.
We all have a stake in this, Esther. It's not just government. I think one of the challenges we have, one of the concerns I have is that we all the time expect that government should do everything. Who is the government? We are the government. So I think we all have a role to play. As Ernst & Young, we are doing our own part. Last year, early this year, we brought together people across the globe, about over 300 business leaders across the globe, to talk about challenges and opportunities in Africa and how we can, what we need to do, how they can support, the growth story of Africa. I think we need to do something similar in Nigeria. The private sector should participate significantly. I know the NESG, the Nigeria Economic Summit,
we have been having some summits
is doing something, but we need to take it to the higher level. We need to also, I think one of the things we also need to do as private sector is to hold our government officials accountable and responsible. That is not happening. Okay.
Well, Henry, sorry, I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there. But of course, we'll continue. Hopefully, you will continue to tell the African story, or the Nigerian story. Let's bring it back from here. Tell the Nigerian story. There's still huge potential here. We still have a very competitive economy, and of course, despite all our challenges, it's still a good place for foreign investors to come do business. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your contribution, and hopefully we will see you back soon to tell us more good stories about
Thank you, Esther. Thank you very much.
The African continent and the Nigerian story. Thank you so much. I have been talking to Henry Egbiki. He's a regional managing partner for West Africa at Ernst & Young, a global accountant and business advisory firm, and we have been looking at a survey put out recently by the company, that's the Africa doing a business survey here in Africa. And of course, they did bring out some quite interesting findings. The fact that there's still a huge amount of foreign direct investment coming into the African continent, and even in Nigeria. That's what we'll be looking at today. We'll take another quick break now, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Business Morning. Let's head now to the morning market. We saw the rate of the cost of lending among banks at the interbank market yesterday hovering at around 15%. There's still a cash squeeze at the market. Do you know that about 2-3 weeks ago, cash worth over 500 billion naira came into the market, but the Central Bank of Nigeria mopped most of that up through its open market operations, selling treasuries to some lenders at the market. So we've seen rates still hovering at these levels in the last 2-3 weeks or so. And for the secured open buyback window, rates are still unchanged at around 14% on average. And at the currencies arm of the market, the naira recovered yesterday at both the official market and interbank foreign exchange market. Well, the central bank had to intervene again. Well, this time it did so by increasing the amount it offered at its official window. Yesterday, the Apex Bank offered $400 million from what it's been offering before. That's around $300 million. So we saw the Naira recovering, closing at 162 Naira 95 kobo to the greenback from around 163 Naira 68 kobo the previous session. Well, the Naira is still under pressure according to market traders, and they hope that the CBN will continue to support the Naira, meeting full demand and of course helping to calm the market. Well, that's it from the morning market, and on that note, we'll also bring the program to a close. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I'm Esther Ubudaga. Bye for now.
Art is a story. On Art House, we start from the beginning.
The mixture of colors and the brushstrokes. The chiseled wonders that link art and science. The steps in each performance. The highs and the lows of emotion. The world of words, rhymes and rhythms.
But this is not a political poem, it's a revolution. It's the evolution of a people refusing to suffer and smile the wall.
On every page, all the elements of a good read. Where else can you get it?